Hi, my name is Augustus Azraya, and I'm truly delighted to be here to share with you some of my experiences as well as thoughts on the topic of sustainability. While I must also express my gratitude to the HSBC team for having invited me to share some of my thoughts and experiences, which I believe may be helpful to you in your journey as you make this world a smarter and sustainable planet. So, with that, I have to very quickly also caution you that I am going to stay away from figures and statistics, you being from the financial services and banking segments or sectors, because you see this day in and day out. But I'd rather use metaphors and stories to drive home my point. So, with that, we will go quickly to what sustainability actually means. All right. To me, sustainability is the capacity to endure in a relatively ongoing way across various domains of life. It generally refers to the capacity of the Earth's biosphere and human civilization to coexist. I underline this word coexist because that's what I've been seeing throughout my journey of making this a more sustainable planet. And I went with three factors or three principles, if you call it. And these are also the influencers, okay, which are people, the first one. People are broken up into social and spiritual. Now, social we know very well, okay, but why spiritual? Because coming from where I am, India, which is steeped in tradition and mysticism, alongside its march towards modernity and with its economic might, is also home to a pantheon of about 3 million gods. And therefore, everything that you come in contact with has an element of spirituality. And therefore, sustainability has been easier achieved, I would say, because people's orientation to nature or creation in that sense has always been very positive and a part of their day-to-day lives, irrespective of their economic status. So, we have people who undergird our sustainability initiatives. Of course, the fallout of it could be economic, and a lot of it is driven by economic requirements and, needless to say, the environment. While I say that, I should bring you to a particular incident or a question that I was asked. And this is during the pandemic time, working from home. And yes, the pandemic, how could I even forget the elephant in the room? So, the first thing I read was that during this pandemic, the freshwater dolphins, which are nearly extinct, there are just about 600 of them in the river Ganges, is what I was told, that during the pandemic, while all the activities had come to a standstill and the waters were flowing clear and fast, the dolphins made a comeback and they were rollicking in the waters. And then my friends who were living closer to the Himalayan mountain ranges in the frontier posts could not see the majesty of those peaks because it was always covered in haze. But come pandemic and a few days into the pandemic, the haze cleared, and as the cloud cover also cleared, they were able to see these wonderful, majestic peaks of the Himalayas, snow-capped, and some of them so beautiful to see. Now, comes the time when I'm supposed to respond to that question. So I told them, sustainability comes when you don't do anything. That's quite surprising. But that's not all. Well, I just meant it as a dramatic statement. But it is true that nature resets itself. But once nature resets itself, like it has done now, is the great opportunity that we have been looking for. After the perfect storm of the pandemic, we are now seeing the opportunity to do what we want to do to make this work, earth, and our lives to be more sustainable. And therefore, what do we need to do? Firstly, with those three things that I talked to you about, I wanted to interpret it by saying that while people undergird this whole sustainability initiative, it could be for recreational purposes, it could be for economic, or it could be for environmental or even political reasons. Doesn't stop there. Deep down, today, in people's minds, there is a new, renewed purpose to life. And I call it purpose driven work. What is purpose driven work? And why am I talking about purpose driven work when the topic given to me is sustainability? Because they go hand in hand. Take, for example, the story of Anna. Anna is a very experienced IT professional. She's about 38 or 40 years old, having worked in this very large IT multinational company at a fairly senior level, very respected. And she one day puts in her papers in this IT MNC and tells her manager, sorry, I'm leaving this job to go and take up another opportunity in an airline company. This manager is now foxed. Why, Anna, would you want to go and take up an opportunity in this airline company? And she says, look, if you understand that I've always had concerns for the environment, and whatever my organization does needs to resonate with my personal values and belief system. And I believe that we should have cleaner air. And therefore, to have that cleaner air, I want to do something. So what is it you're going to do, Anna? Anna says, while airlines are the biggest polluters, they have this project in this airline company that aims to reduce their carbon footprint. And by doing that, the company can also go and claim its carbon credits, and it's also in alignment with their corporate objectives. Therefore, Mr. Manager, every line of code that I'm going to be writing in this organization goes towards cleaner air. So you see, it resonates with my value system. And because it resonates with my value system, I'm more productive. And with my productivity comes the satisfaction that I am using my skills, my talent, and the organization has given me the opportunity to go and manifest itself to make a difference. And therefore, in the future of work, or in the new ways of working, it is so important that we align our corporate social responsibilities to purpose. Purpose that is driven by the corporate's strategy and vision, and that is in alignment with what that employee or person within the organization aims to achieve. Once we do this, our sustainability initiatives as well as the strategy would be far more effective because we've involved people, and it also engages the workforce and results in greater productivity and employee engagement scores. So it is a huge initiative or a huge win that I have encouraged organizations to follow. Now, it's not rocket science for us to go and identify what is business strategy versus what is people's preferences or purpose. And it's simple, as people can go and crowdsource ideas and the organization can filter it and say, okay, here are the set of values and here are the set of objectives that we will go and drive. Okay, so that is one way of involving people. The other way of it I have seen across various areas, right? So it is in terms of what I would call here, clean drinking water. How do we provide clean drinking water to villages that are inaccessible, all right? Though we are a technology company. e-waste management. How do I make sure that that particular laptop, desktop that I was using has been managed well or recycled well? And I've enabled green buildings as well as ensuring that the groundwater level table, comes up with all the kind of modernization as well as progress in terms of real estate and the growth of cities. So there have been, and the rainwater harvesting initiatives have helped many localities bring their water tables up. Rainwater harvesting again then became a requirement of the municipality or the town planning committee. Because here, if you look at it, if we do not have enforcement of regulations, it's very difficult to drive a sustainability initiative. So if you have a government and regulatory body within your organization, it's so important for us to engage with the government as well as in the communities that we operate in to enforce certain practices, principles to meet those sustainable goals. All right. Typically, from where I come, there is a lake close by, and people were inadvertently dumping garbage into the lake. The industries that were close by built canals where they were letting the untreated water into the lake, which had a very devastating effect on the flora and fauna, and the lake nearly dried up. Okay, but it took a lot of effort from people who were living around, okay, which I would call activism. People started getting involved, and organizations in and around supported this level of what I would call balanced activism. It's not disruptive. It's a balanced activism that enabled the lake to rejuvenate itself. And once this lake rejuvenated itself, it became a beacon of hope to so many people around there and the local fisher community as well as the people who were indigenous to that particular area. So how did we reach sustainability? Well, we sustained that local fisher folk. We sustained the livelihood of all those other people around it. We also ensured that it was a good place for recreational activities for those homes that came in and around that particular lake. So you see, sustainability is just not restricted to what we would go and write out there, in terms of a corporate objective. While the corporate objective is there, it needs to be converted into actionable programs for those people in that community. And that's exactly what we did. And listen to me, one more thing I have to say is that sometimes we write global corporate sustainability programs. And what works in Indian subcontinent or in Europe or in North America may not work somewhere else, for example, in Vietnam, because the sustainability strategy has to be local. For example, in North America, the sustainability could be on skills development for the future. Whereas in some other place or in sub-Saharan Africa, it could be on fresh water. It could be on increasing the water table in certain arid areas. So therefore, it's got to be local. All right. So with that, I want to reinforce, in my opinion, in my experience, I found that people undergird the entire sustainability strategy. And the moment we involve people, we empower them and we equip them with a set of resources, skills, and so on and so forth for them to be successful. And then you will see that sustainability not only manifests itself and grows our particular brand, but it ensures that the communities that we operate in are also successful and that they see the alignment that this particular organization has to them. Purpose is the core of this. So if we look at aligning corporate goals to people's purpose, a great many challenges and issues could be addressed as we have a workforce which will be highly engaged, motivated, have a high level of emotional and physical well-being because they have an out. And it's left to organizations to provide that out and to imagine new ways of doing the sustainability initiatives using the CSR route. So with this, thank you very much once again for having me here, and I will be delighted to take any questions. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or through any other social media platform, and also probably write in. I would be happy to support you, partner with you as you embark on your journey of sustainability, or even if you are looking at doing some kind of a change. I suppose now is the right time. But remember, purpose, people, community are all those things that undergird a drive towards sustainability. Thank you and all the best in your initiatives. Bye bye.